Unstoppable Force.
Welcome to PUNstoppable Force. I am Jordan, this is Ethan, and now a new member, Josh.
Fat boy. Oh.
Yeah, Fat Boy. And then,
Fat boy.
okay, so, the frickin'... No, do not spam the chat!
I don't know what you're talking about.
That is not how podcasts work! I do not like your work ethic! You haven't shown up to work all week! And then you finally do, and you're acting like a dick! Unacceptable!
Fired. You do not belong in this company, you fuck. Get out of here.
You make me feel like the bullet of a gun. I just got fired, didn't I?
Shut the fuck. Okay, we've been recording for, I want to say, a little over 30 seconds, and Josh has already proved that he should totally be on this. This is a bit of, this was, like, I went into this thinking it was going to be a bit of a trial run for him, because I wasn't sure how he'd, like, interact on recording, but I think he's great.
Hey man, the only time when I'm not gonna be on this is if Ethan texts me at fucking 10 o'clock at night wanting me to get on.
Oh my god!
That's when it's not gonna work.
That's what he does though! Like...
do it any other time! Any other time!
Party all day and party all night?
Ethan!
No?
That's how people die.
Oh.
I'll text you at, like, we'll talk at school, like, hey, maybe we should, like, Skype or something, and then, like, I tell you I'm really tired and probably gonna go to bed at, like, 10 or 11, and then you fucking text me at 1, saying to get on Skype, or even better, you'll just outright call me on Skype even though I'm not online. Like, do you know how Skype works? You can't receive calls when I'm not logged in.
I didn't read the manual. Alright, I'm sorry.
Okay, so...
My gosh.
So Nathan's not here because he has a shit ton of homework, and that's understandable.
Lask if you cry every time.
Yeah, Lask if you cry every time. So I decided to have a running gimmick where there's gonna be Lask in the title of every episode. Like Blask from the past.
Oh wow.
And,
I watched the 2 other videos, so I know where that's coming from.
Yeah,
It's The Last of Us.
Oh god. Ethan!
That's my name. Don't hear it out.
It's kind of described in the first video, but it's not entirely clear. Pretty much the premise of that was we were talking about how much people say like, and someone, I think it was Nathan, brought up, like, Lask for some reason, and then that was a thing.
Okay.
So the first recording I thought was a little boring, but I thought it was decent for a first recording. And I thought, like, how do you make a podcast a little bit better? Add an intro and background music. So one night I was just, like, up pretty late, and I recorded that, like, just guitaring the shit out of that intro. And then
And I was up all night. Get lucky. What? Who said that?
Shut the But this is why we can't have nice things. So the next day, or maybe a few days after, I was, like, walking home from school, and I have this app on my phone where I can create MIDI file music things, and so I created a drum and a... What are you guys doing?
Ethan, you fuck.
Ethan! You fucking asshole! So apparently, Ethan thinks it's okay to, like, so we've been in the call.
Here's some
like,
bullshit. I'm dead again. Kick me, figure, dilly, you can't.
Yeah, so-
Going to take shit. BRB. LOL, love me.
To take.
Ethan, if you're gonna gouge to take shit, leave and go take shit.
Ethan, I'll think about you while taking that shit. Don't worry.
Like, oh,
Don't worry.
Joshy
You'll think about me while you take one, or you'll think about me while I'm taking one.
What? So, I think it's funny how with Nathan, I had, like, pleasant, organized conversation, and then you guys, it's basically whoever can talk the loudest.
Okay, so you know what?
Hey, well, you're
Ethan,
Let's get
leave.
the conversation set and let's do it.
So, back to the story about how I
you're
created
telling
the
us
background
story?
music. Ethan, shut up!
Alright.
I was walking home and I created a drum and bass line and I imported that to Audacity and I looped it for like 30 minutes and I'm like, okay, so there's gonna be like kind of a bluesy, jazzy guitar thing going up. God damn it!
Oh my god.
Ethan, I am going to cut your dick off the next time I see you. If you keep posting in the fucking chat.
Hey Jordan, Snapchat me that.
Snapchat you what?
You cutting off Ethan's dick.
Okay, Friday night, I'm recording with Miles.
Episode 4, starting at 4:20.
God damn it. But, Ethan earlier that day told me that he could record that night, so I was pretty excited, and then that day I also recruited Miles to the show, and, I got a few things to talk about Miles, because he actually turned out to be pretty great, I think.
Alright.
And then, Ethan, of course, doesn't record because he just doesn't show up to work ever, and then... And then when he finally does show up, he's a dick about it. But, so that night, he was not on Skype at all.
Just gotta make sure you didn't cut it off yet. I mean, what?
I was talking to Miles, and then, mid-recording, I get a Snapchat from Ethan, and I'm like, oh boy, it's probably him, wanting to get on Skype. It's nothing close to that. It's just out of nowhere a fucking unitard selfie.
Yep.
Him in his fucking singlet.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like Ethan.
Yeah.
I mean, wrestling though.
I got the same thing over
Yeah,
myself.
because
that
if there's
varsity.
one thing Ethan's good at, it's like fondling sweaty men.
Oh no, you do the way he does it.
But oh yeah.
I'm just a water boy.
Yeah, I think I mentioned. I attempted to mention this channel to Luke at one point. I'm like, hey, Ethan, do you think Luke would probably want it? And he's like, no. And then he like walked away.
Well, I mean, you weren't talking about cars, so or guns.
Yeah, cars
Or food.
Guns, classical music, or like
Food.
League of Legends.
Food.
But
See, and that's all that I see in Luke. I mean, you just described him in literally 2 seconds. No offense to him, but like, you kind of just did.
I mean, he's great, and I
No,
mean,
he's a great guy. I love the kid, but I mean, like, cars and guns.
that's it. He's. But,
Trevor, you do the same, but add like a tractor in here and there. But two very similar people.
Not sure if calling shotgun or shotgun.
So my freshman year, Luke and I, like, we didn't hang out much at all, and like I thought he was kind of a dick. And then sophomore year, I find out we're in the same world history class for 2 semesters. And I end up sitting next to him because, like, I didn't know anyone else, and I at least kind of knew him. And then we ended up becoming friends and just dicking around in that class the whole time. And he was like pretty smart and like knew everything. And at one point, we had to do this project about the French Revolution, and we worked really hard on this. And this is like a huge project, like some shit ton of points for class. We work super hard on. I think this was the one that, like, usually he'll complain about, like, how in groups he thinks he does all the work, but I did all the work. Like,
No, he never does the work.
He did, like, a little bit of research, but I did, like, all the drawings, the slideshow making, everything. And he had one job, and that was to turn it in, and he didn't. And my grade dropped to, like, a D or something. I'm like, you had one job!
You had one job, and you did. No, it's not that he didn't have one job. It's the fact that the job was literally just moving your hand, at least with something in it. All you had to do was just extend your hand outwards towards someone else's with your project in hand. It's not that he had one job. It's that the job was so fucking simple.
And Ethan, in the last podcast, I'm telling you this because I'm pretty sure by now you haven't watched it because you're a dick. I mean, Josh was at least nice enough to pretend he watched it and
No, I seriously watched it, all of it this morning. I was playing, like, Battlefield, but I had it going in the background because there was, like, nothing going on the screen besides, like, some images changing.
Dude.
So I did watch it.
Actually, towards,
technically, listen to it.
Shut up. Halfway through the video, I started putting in a bunch of graphics.
I saw it, like, the Half-Life stuff.
Yeah, the Half-Life stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Half-Life 2, Half-Life 1. I think I did a Halo thing, and
You did
there was
want
this
that.
point in which the conversation got a bit confusing, and I intentionally cut out the background music, and because Nathan started talking about the Illuminati.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was like, yeah, Valve is fighting the Illuminati. And at that point, I posted in the video, like, the Valve logo, and I wrote next to it, like,
that.
what the fuck? And then,
I saw that.
like, all the triangles in the Valve logo, like, oh, shit!
That was great. I was just like, Nathan, genius, man.
No, I made that part.
Genius.
No, he didn't do any of the graphics. I did all of them.
No, I know, but like bringing up the whole topic about the Illuminati, you know, it's good to bring awareness about something like that.
I think Miles brought topic to the Illuminati too. I think I tried to tell the story like 10 minutes ago, and I failed at that. So after I made the beat and like bass line, I put it in Audacity, looped it, and then I figured, so there's gonna be like a bluesy, jazzy guitar part, and
Okay.
and so I figured, how should I go about this? I could play for maybe a couple minutes and then put it on loop, and I decided, no, I'll go all out and record for 30 minutes, just non-stop soloing.
Are you?
If you listen carefully to the like background music, like you won't hear anything repeat until like 28 minutes in.
Oh,
and
wow.
the reason I did it, I was gonna do it till like 30 minutes, but at that point I noticed that my laptop screen was flickering, like like strobing on and off, and I thought it was about to crash. So I'm like, well, better cut it off here. But
It doesn't. I always hate it when computers like freeze up, or when you have like a set instruction from like a manual for setting up a piece of software or hardware, and it tells you to wait for this to happen. But most of the time, or at least what I've experienced, you wait for that, but it somewhat like freezes up in the process, so you think it's done. And so you click on continue, whatever the fuck that you gotta continue on, and it then like unfreezes itself and it continues to finally do what it's supposed to be doing, and it's like, shit, did I like break it because I continued a bit early or what?
like, so this was recorded Sunday like afternoon towards the evening. I uploaded episode 2 yesterday, and I think I got to it at about midnight. What are you doing? Ethan, are you like, you sound like you're intentionally beating off like right into your microphone.
No, he's beating off with sandpaper. That's what it sounds like.
So,
Oh yeah, this.
god damn it. His mom's doing it for him. She hates him. Sorry, Mrs. G. If you even give a shit about any of us. Mrs. Ethan. Yeah,
Mrs. Ethan.
Mrs. Ethan's mom.
Mrs. Ethan.
Yeah, Mrs. Ethan's mom. But, so last night, what are you, god damn it. I'm not editing that out. Like all 3 of our subscribers are you gonna
I feel like it's just like, oh, let's get a circle here and there, let's go get some scribbles all up in there, let's get a square on that side, perfect!
What?
It's like, that he's drawing, probably.
Oh.
You know, the pen and the pencil and the paper.
I thought you were describing what this is gonna look like once I import it into Audacity. Like all the fucking squiggly lines and shit that I have to even out, because sometimes our microphones are quieter than others. Like, it'll take me... There's like a 10-to-1 ratio on time I spend editing versus like time that actually goes by, maybe like 5-to-1, but like 1 minute takes like 5 minutes to edit.
Yeah.
And that'll get condensed to maybe like 55 seconds. But
I mean, it's pretty
Ethan,
similar to programming where...
Ethan,
Wait, what?
stop!
I'm sorry, I'm drawing a beautiful picture.
Why?
God. Told you he was drawing.
He's
Oh,
drawing a
just gonna-
picture that he can beat off to later. But
No, but piggybacking with off what you were saying about the whole like editing and whatnot, it's similar to programming. In my computer science class, we started doing Java at the moment, and What? Okay, I'm not gonna ask, but while programming, I've seen this happen to me and like everyone else, but 10% of your time actually goes into programming whatever the fuck you're trying to program. Then the other 90% is just debugging it and making sure that it works.
Exactly.
Which is a pain in the fucking ass, but at least Blue Jay, the software we were using, tells us what the issue is and it highlights where the problem is. And so, I mean, it's not that bad of an issue to go back and fix it.
Can you turn your voice down a little bit?
I got you, Mom.
Okay.
I'm leaving that in. Okay, so I think one time we were all hanging out and I pointed out that Josh is like laughs the most out of any person I know.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
kind of
secretly why I allowed him to be part of the podcast, because you know sometimes like shows sometimes that shows will have like laugh tracks, but they're like not always that funny shit. Like, now the world knows the shit I say is fucking hilarious. See, like that.
Alright, Josh, just keep laughing.
It's just such random shit that gets me laughing. That's it.
That's great. But I'm gonna make like a dubstep remix of you laughing. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, yes.
Speaking of friggin' dubstep, I have a song that I made to show you guys.
I want to
Yeah,
listen.
you ready for
I
this?
want to listen.
Wait, is it gonna kill my
Mic
ears?
test.
Oh, jeez.
Mic test. Mic test.
Never hand Jordan the aux cord.
Did you hear all that?
I did.
Great.
Where can I download it?
Then this, did you hear like the intro though?
I did.
I'm just gonna play it again because I can.
PUNstoppable force.
Oh yeah. You know, that could just be like going on just on loop in the background of like an 80s porn movie, because fuck yeah. Like, who wouldn't want to see like Ethan, stop!
Oh.
LOL, lots of loop.
Oh my gosh.
Finally, someone.
I'm just not even laughing anymore. I'm just like a seal who's just clapping his hands really silently.
Oh, I thought that was Ethan, like, fapping like there's no tomorrow.
No, that was Ethan, but I'm just like laughing. I don't know.
He's like fapping like he read the entire, like, so I hear like this one really deep question a few times, like, if someone handed you this book and it turned out and you're reading it and you realize it's like the book of your life, would you read the end so you know how you dies or when you dies? But it's pretty much like Ethan is masturbating like he just read that book all the way through and finds out he never gets laid ever.
So the question is, if I had a book that
If someone
explained my life thoroughly detailed up until the time of my death, is that correct?
I guess.
Okay, whatever. I think it is. So, I would choose maybe not to read it. And for the reasoning that I want to find out what I do. I want to take the steps myself to know what I did in my life to get to where I'm going. Now, yeah, it'd be pretty cool to read, like, here's the end point of what you did. So I go to this, that, and the other, and now I'm like a CEO or something. I would like to know that I made it that far, but I would not like to know how I did that.
I mean,
How I took those steps to get there.
The thing is, like, if you figure out how I guess this is like time travel logic. If you're finding that out in the past, it changes your future because it changes your outlook on life. So the book would constantly be changing. So, like, if you found out you're gonna die at, like, 69 of a heart attack, you might start doing things to prevent heart attack or some shit. And then, but I mean, like, you might start taking steps that, like, I forget what causes heart attack. I feel like it's like high blood sugar or something.
I
like
want to
that.
say it's high blood pressure in general.
Yeah, I knew it was something with your blood or like something in your heart gets clogged.
Yeah.
But like you might start trying to be healthier or something, but then you could die at like 32 from like, you know, a treadmill mishap.
Oh yeah. Falling off the treadmill.
The only time that when a treadmill mishap is going to happen when I'm at the YMCA and I look over to my left and my right and I see a girl who's pretty fucking hot, okay? That's when I'm going to just completely wipe the fuck out of the treadmill.
No, you see a
You know,
10 out
you
of
can
10
only
50 on a treadmill.
Ethan, shut up.
No, that's fine. I quit.
Good. Fucking annoying.
Just watch him, like, leave this Skype call.
You know what? That's pretty much how it worked with Nathan. Pretty much what happened was, right, we were about to record episode 1, and I'm like, okay, so it's just gonna be you and me, cool, we've been planning this since Friday. Out of nowhere, he adds Nathan to the call, and refuses to kick him. Even though I explained to him that this was gonna be a just us thing, but he's like, you don't deal with it, this is my channel. Even though it's slowly becoming my channel and I end up doing all the work, he just talks for a little while. Oh, fuck. What the hell? What in the actual fuck? Did Ethan kick you? Oh my god!
I think he just did. I don't know. He could have just ended the call in general or kicked. I don't know. Let's just leave that in there because that's kind of funny.
I'm gonna leave that in there because that's fucking stupid. In loving memory of Ethan and all the times we had to yell at him. No, do not spam the chat. I do not like your work ethic. You're acting like a dick.
You do not belong in this company, you fuck.
Shut the fuck.
Do it any other time.
Ethan, do you know how Skype works?
Oh god. Ethan!
Shut the
Ethan, you fuck.
You fucking asshole! Ethan, if you're gonna gouge to take shit, leave and go take shit. Ethan, leave. Ethan, shut up. God damn it. Ethan, I am going to cut your dick off the next time I see you. If you keep posting in the fucking chat. God damn it. Ah, shut up. Shut up. What are you doing? Ethan, stop. Ethan, stop! Ethan, shut up. He will be missed. And then, oh, what the fuck?
What?
Oh, Nathan just messaged me like, no. Because I asked him if he saw the newest episode. He's just like, no.
No.
But, so...
Oh man, I feel like there's another topic I wanted to bring up, but I completely forgot it, so I want to go check on what it is again.
Yeah, what I like to do is, like, I mentioned in the last episode, or one of the last episodes, that I never want this podcast to be scripted, but we can still have prompts. So like all day not all day, but when I have like free time and I'm like not like hanging out with friends, but like class gets done early, but the teacher refuses to let us leave because they're fucking substitutes.
Oh god, I hate those people.
Well, so I'll just be like in the memo app on my phone, just like writing down topics or like Lasks puns. But
what were some of the topics that you thought of out of curiosity?
The topics like Jesus Christ, what? Ethan just texted me.
What did he say?
He says, I know you're gonna call BS, but computer restarted. How do you turn off automatic restarts? Oh.
Ethan, you fucking noob. The goddamn...
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call him and put him on fucking speakerphone.
He's using his Mac off by Crapple. That's what he's doing.
No, he got a new computer.
I mean, I know he got that, but is he using it now or no?
He's using it. It's like Windows 8. Oh, here he is, Ethan. What the fuck was that?
My computer restarted. Because automatic restart download thing.
Wait, can you hear me right now?
I don't know.
Oh wait, did he even update the OS or no?
No, I think what happened was like he got a computer update and it automatically restarted his computer. Ethan, you gotta go in your settings and tech support, this part is boring, tech support, and you'll be happy I cut this part out, 'cause I'm just a nice editor like that. Ethan, what doesn't make sense to me is why, if your computer restarted, why did you stay in the call but Josh got kicked?
Yeah, I'm not
Like,
sure how it is.
you and me stayed in the call. You were the call owner, but Josh got kicked.
I don't know.
Okay, well, good luck with your computer.
I mean, wait, can he hear me now or no?
No, I hung up on him.
Oh, okay. Damn, I wanted to say that he could just go into the settings, see if he could, like, actually update his, OS. Because on my Windows 8 computer that I'm...
Ah!
What?
The horrors!
I mean, it's a great computer.
The
but...
one-colored boxes!
I know. It's Windows 8. It's horrid. I mean, it's Windows 8.1, so I mean, there's
that's better.
There's a lot of improvements over Windows 8, which is a lot nicer.
I saw this really funny picture. It's like this picture of let me find it. It's this picture of Bill Gates, and he says, and like the caption is, "Hi, my name is Bill Gates, and today I'll teach you how to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 95, 98, NT 2000 XP, Vista 7, 8, 10.
I know that picture. Wait, you want to know why they called it Windows 10? Instead of like Windows 9?
Yeah.
Okay, I shit you not. This is because Microsoft wanted to be at the same level as Apple with their Mac OS X 10.
Are you fucking serious?
Yes, I'm serious about this. Now, what would have been better is if they named it Windows 9 and that it was a working operating system because Mac OS X 9 was just garbage beyond belief.
Yeah.
It was more buggy than iOS 8 and Vista combined. And that's
Oh god, Vista.
I know.
My computer used to have Vista and then it crashed. Like like nothing worked for like a year.
Oh my god.
I'm not kidding.
What kind of computer do you have?
I have like this 5-year-old HP Pavilion or something. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's a pretty good HP, and it's like got a really good graphics card, and I think it's pretty good for like 5 years old. Let me check. But it came with Vista, and then it didn't work for it worked fine for a while, and then programs stopped working, and then the entire thing stopped working, and then about a year later, my mom, who used to work in like programming and like helped build the internet pretty much.
Okay.
Or the backbone. She worked for AOL back when AOL was like a thing. It's still a thing, but like it was when it was the thing.
Yeah.
But so pretty much, so she helped me install Windows 7, and now it works fine. I mean, now that it has 7, it works great, and it can run some pretty graphics-intensive games. Like it ran Fallout New Vegas pretty well for a while, like on medium graphics, and then my computer started smelling like burning plastic, and
I'm pretty sure that's not what it's supposed to do.
Certain things
100%.
stopped working, like GTA San Andreas, which I got pretty cheap. Like I got like GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas for like $7.50 because Steam is like charitable as fuck. But like San Andreas would crash every time something exploded.
All right.
And then I stopped playing New Vegas for a while, and then it started working again. The explosions and stuff. Then I got New Vegas for Xbox, and everything was all good.
Okay.
New Vegas is friggin' great. I mean, a lot of people say it's not as good as Fallout 3, and I played them both, and I like them both, but tunnel snakes rule.
Yeah.
Back to the topic of graphics cards.
What does it say?
It says like name NVIDIA GeForce 8400 MGS.
Wait, hold on. Say that one more time. NVIDIA GeForce what?
8400 MGS.
Oh, I know that graphics card. Yeah, that's a pretty good graphics card.
Yeah, so some of the topics were like, what kind of microphone are you recording with?
I'm using the standard mic on the laptop I have.
Oh, okay.
Because I did have a Razer Kraken Pro headset.
Oh shit!
I know it's $70. So I mean, it's not like an oh shit sort of thing. That's my Turtle Beach X42, so that's an oh shit moment. But my Razer, I tried to use the mic and it wouldn't by default, and so I would have to go out and I had to go buy this like extra.
Did you get your money back?
No. I mean, I still have the mic. I mean, I still have it, but the microphone does not work, but the speakers are perfectly fine.
Well, so Razer so pretty much here's how my pretty much life goes.
Okay.
So in the summer, like the Steam sale will like happen, and I'll be like really wanting to get a new computer.
Yeah.
Like a gaming computer, like a desktop.
Yeah.
Because mine's pretty old, and it doesn't run like it used to.
Mhm.
I mean, sometimes it'll like overheat and shut off, and then it won't turn back on for a while.
Yeah.
But so I'll want to get like a gaming PC, and then then school starts up, and I start wanting to spend my money on other things like lunch.
Yeah. Like lunch.
And and then I'll have like no interest in like new computers anymore because I won't have as much time for gaming, and then summer will start back up. Like, damn it, where did all my money go? I was pretty close to affording that. But
I mean,
so
you
in
can
the
build a PC for pretty cheaply if that's what you were gonna go for.
Yeah, I mean, a few of my friends built their computers. So the website I was using is CyberPower PC or something like that.
Oh, I know that website. That's a good one.
And yeah, it's a pretty good one because I think it's pretty cheap, and like it's easy because they build it for you, and there's like all these options and shit, and it's like easier if you don't know shit about computers. Like I mean, I know a little bit, but I'm not like an expert.
Yeah.
But like it'll tell you like what your frame rate could be or some shit like that.
Okay.
And so it didn't have all the keyboards I was maybe looking for, and I thought maybe I could like go a little further and get like one of those nice Razer keyboards.
Oh.
And so I went on the Razer website. Let me tell you about the Razer website. It is hilarious. Like, they make like the weirdest shit and then overprice it like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I've seen their products like in real life, and they're actually pretty cool and like work great.
Mm-hmm.
But they're expensive as fuck.
Yeah, they kind of are.
Like, there are like $250 keyboards, like like the Black Mamba or Black Widow or something. It's
yeah.
Like
I'm on their site right now, and I know what you mean here. I'm looking at it. Let me go to the keyboards.
They're and they'll like make like really weird looking like mouse. Is it mice or mouses? Like when referring to
multiple?
Yeah, when
it would
referring
be
to multiple,
mice.
But for like computers, not like the ones you kill for fun. I'm kidding about that. But,
I actually have to tell you a story about killing mouses here. This is a quick one, but it's funny.
Okay.
Funny. Okay, so
Jesus.
when I was a kid, and this was way back in the day when I was like early elementary school. We had this like one mouse living under our dishwasher. And so we tried like many different methods to actually kill this thing, and one person over at like or wherever it was said, "Oh, here's like a glue trap. You'll be able to kill the mouse by like what would you call it? Fuck. What the hell the thing is called for like not eating a lot?
Anorexia?
No, never mind. You're like whatever. So I mean, the mouse would just kill itself by going on overtime by this like glue trap.
Starvation.
Thank you. That's what the word I was looking for.
Sorry, I was half paying attention when you were first telling the story, because I have this timer going on my phone to see how long we've been recording.
Alright.
Yeah, I feel like this episode's gonna be longer than the last one. Like, I might go on a pattern, like, I want to get on a habit of, like, uploading maybe 2 videos a week, and, like, the first one was, like, 25 minutes, and then the second one was 50 minutes, and then if I upload the one with, Miles in it. So, I don't like interrupting the podcast, because I feel it's kind of unprofessional, but this needs explaining. This was recorded Sunday night, which was a few days after I recorded with Miles, but a few days before I released that content. So, which, like, that's, like, I think that's gonna maybe have, like, 20 to 25 minutes of content. So I could, like, alternate between long and short.
Yeah.
Because we've been going for, like, over 40 minutes now.
Shit.
So this could be a long one.
That's a while.
I mean, I could probably cut a lot of it out,
Yeah.
because some of it is just bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's truthfully, some of the stuff when I got on, it seemed to be a bit of like bullshit stuff going on here and there. Before we got into like the said conversation of the whole like if your book had your life going on.
Yeah.
Then
like,
before that just seemed like some horse shit.
It was. But Ethan, when he called you, he put you on speakerphone so I could hear you.
Oh gosh.
Telling you to get on Skype, and I yelled at him. Like, I told him, like, stop being a dick. Like, if
Yeah,
you,
Ethan,
if you,
he pisses me off sometimes when it says like, okay, you know, I tell him that I just got done babysitting for someone that I
that's
usually
cool.
babysit for. Yeah, I mean, racking up that money. Okay.
Oh yeah, getting paid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, feels so good. But I told him that, okay, I'll be home in like 15, 20 minutes tops. And he texts me like 10 minutes later, like, hurry up and get on. I'm like, I'm not even home yet, hold on here.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm finally in the car. And it'll be like 5-6 minutes until I get home, and he's like, oh, you got like 2 minutes. And I'm like, Ethan, shut the fuck up. And my mom was in the car hearing this, and she said it herself. Oh man, just shut the fuck up. It was the best thing.
Ethan alternates between being like one of the nicest guys I know and one of the most like intolerable people possible.
Yes.
Like, my friend Emily, she would occasionally talk about how just fucking obnoxious he could be.
Yeah.
Cause apparently, like, he'd, this story has two sides of it, and I'm gonna tell both of them.
After
He
you
would,
get
like-
that, let's go back into the discussion about razor products.
And mice, I forgot I cut
Yeah.
you off about that.
No, sorry.
But, sorry about that. But now I'm in this mode. So, he used to call her, like he does us, at like fucking midnight when she'd actually be up. And like, talk to her for hours.
God.
And like, sometimes even like fall asleep while on the phone. And she'd be like, oh, whatever. But he'd be like complaining about everything and asking her for girl advice. And she'd like give it. And her side of the story, which I heard first, was that she'd keep giving him advice, but like he just wouldn't listen. I'm like, wow, what an asshole. But then I talked to Ethan and I told him about this because I thought it was kind of funny and wanted to know why the hell he was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I find out, he tells me like the reason I haven't been following it is because it's like, first of all, it was bad, and second of all, it was the same advice over and over again. And I said, without him telling me any of this, I said, oh my god, was it something along the lines of like, just go for it, bro, or just go up and talk to her or something? And he says, actually, that's exactly what it was.
Oh my god.
And we both laughed so hard.
Although talking to girls usually helps, you know, but Ethan wasn't doing that, so.
So, there are two, you know, there are usually two sides to every story.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're both wrong and I'm right as fuck as always. Sorry, go on. But tell yours about my story thing.
Oh yeah, okay. And so, this was like years ago, back in like early elementary school, but we had this one mouse.
Oh jeez.
I know, this was long ago, but we had this like mouse living under our dishwasher, and so we tried like many different traps to get this thing caught, until we finally just said, okay, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna go for the traditional route of catching a mouse, and we're gonna have that bitchin' trap just snap its neck when it goes for the little slice of cheese.
Why wasn't that your first attempt?
Because the person at Hardware seemed like someone who didn't want to actually like hurt the animal.
Oh my god.
And so she sort of convinced my mom to not hurt the mouse. And so we went for these traps that wouldn't do it, but they just didn't work.
Think about it. If you were gonna die, would you rather die a slow, painful death of starvation? Like, either way you're gonna die. But a slow, painful death of starvation, or just have your neck snapped on the spot and it be
No,
over
I
with
would
it?
just have it quick and easy.
Exactly.
Quick and easy. So, I mean, that's sort of what I feel like people are like, I don't want to hurt the animal by like ripping off or like twisting its neck. It just snaps.
Fuck that shit.
I would rather have it die in a less peaceful way. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you really think about it.
Let me just say, it doesn't always kill
No,
them.
it doesn't.
I got a story about
Oh
that.
gosh. But what happened was that after we finally caught the mouse, we were taking it outside to just like dump it out in the. I live right next to my middle school, and so there's like a metal fence from my backyard separating like a back path to middle school,
God.
and so we were just gonna like toss it back there and just let it
Oh yeah, we
decompose.
walked there.
Yeah.
once.
Yeah. And so
We walked from our school to your middle school and then to your house.
that's not creepy at all.
Well, you were there.
Yeah,
wasn't you?
I was? What was
Yeah.
this?
This was like you met us at like that ice cream place.
Oh yeah,
And
I know what you're talking about now. I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna edit that part out because we removed names. Because I had to remove the name of this one place. Nathan was talking about his like school's 7th grade trip to fucking
Yeah,
nature
I
center.
was watching that, and I heard like this weird ass noise pop up, and I heard like nature center after that. And I was like, yeah, I know what
I
you're
censored
talking
it because I don't want like our 3 fans, boycotting them. I'm gonna generally try to leave names out of it.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, but yeah, you remember we met up there. And then so go on. I keep interrupting.
Oh
you,
no,
Dick,
it's all right. But the ending of the story is that my sister wanted to dissect the mouse really badly.
Oh my god.
So it ended up happening on her back porch.
That's some Jeffrey Dahmer shit right there. I'm not even kidding. Like, I watched some documentaries on him, and he'd like pick up roadkill while walking home when he was a little kid, just dissect it. And then he turned into the Milwaukee Cannibal. Damn it.
Wow.
Like 16
My bad, it was actually 17.
young men raped and murdered and eaten.
That's not good. Hey, do you want to go back to that razor discussion that we were having?
Oh,
the product?
sorry. Oh, wait, actually, I have a couple mouse stories.
Okay, yeah, go
So,
there, and then we'll get back to the razor, because I want to talk
yeah.
about how bullshit their prices are, and what one of my friends described them as, which is pretty fucking accurate, too. Do you
I mean, don't get me wrong, they're like really good products.
Oh no, they're good
So I'm
products.
not-
They really.
They're great products, but they're just a tad overpriced.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not bashing them.
No, I don't want to bash them. I really do like their stuff.
Yeah, they got some good
The
shit.
only issue that I have with the headphones that I got is the memory foam that are like around the headphones itself. I prefer like over the ear because like after a while, if I have
Oh
headphones on,
god,
like,
was it like that the like low budget headphones that like are just circles that you kind of have to like put like kind of in the middle of your ear and like hope they don't slide off?
yes.
Oh god, I hate those.
Yeah, I mean it's a good headphone. The sound quality is amazing. I absolutely love it for the price that they come with too, and it comes with the fucking microphone also.
Yeah, I mean,
But I
the
mean-
headset I'm using, I think I got it for like Christmas either a year or so ago,
Okay.
and I didn't use it for a while until I started like recording this.
Okay.
And like, cause it's just this headset with a microphone on it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna use this for. And then I don't know what brand it is. Probably because I've never heard of the brand before.
I mean, what
But
is the side of the actual headphone?
Let me check. It's like COS SB45.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, I don't know what it
Because
is.
if you were gonna have like an orangish looking T, I'd be like, oh, that's a Triton headphone. Or if you had like a green beach looking like palm tree, that's like Turtle Beach. And so that's
Yeah, no,
usually
I
the sort
have-
of headsets that I see.
I mean, I have a Turtle Beach headset. I think they're like X11s or something.
Okay.
And I use that for Xbox. But
Yeah.
like, one of the sides stopped working.
Mhm.
So that sucked. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, back to the mouse stories.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, this was like a few years ago.
Okay.
My house, and I'm a bit ashamed to tell the story, but it's too funny to not.
Alright.
My house had a bunch of mice in it.
Okay.
Like it was getting bad. Like food was disappearing. There was like
Oh.
shit everywhere.
Oh.
Not like everywhere, but like
No, I know what you mean.
places like you'd go to look up there, and you don't look up there very often, but you find a bunch of dust and shit.
Yeah.
And so occasionally I'd be like sitting in my living room, like watching TV or playing Xbox, and out of the corner of my eye I would see like so we have like the table that we rest our TV on like up against the wall, and like this couch kind of near it.
Okay.
And I saw in between, like, there's maybe like 3 to 5 feet of space. Oh, there's also a dog crate in the middle of that. But there's like maybe a foot of space in between the TV table and the dog crate. And in between that, I see a mouse run across. I'm like, oh hell no. So, I mean, I'm not afraid of mice. I get startled easily.
Yeah. No, I'm on the same page as you there.
And so finally, oh my god, I actually forgot about how funny this ended up getting. So this story ends up being bigger than I thought it would be.
All right.
But we declare war on mice.
Oh God.
And my mom is like hilarious about almost everything.
Okay.
So she got this like small piece of cardboard and a pen and started tallying up every mouse we killed.
Wow.
And we ended up getting to like 19 or 21 or something
What
like
the
that.
fuck?
Actually, one of them was a mole. We don't know how the fuck that happened, but it was. And so like we got a few new traps.
Okay.
But also she's like, save money, and we had a few old mouse traps lying around.
Yeah.
And she's like the kind of person who's not afraid to get her hands a little dirty, so we don't just like throw mouse traps out, we reuse them. I mean, maybe rinse them off a bit if they're bloody.
Oh my God.
And so we reuse a few, and one of them's like kind of old and rusty, and we set one behind the microwave, which we found a bunch of shit. Oh God, I remember more of the story, but I'm not gonna tell it because it's really gross.
Okay, I can tell where this is going. So
You know what? Fuck it, I will tell it.
okay,
But,
let's hear it.
So we set like an old kind of rusty trap, like it's still gonna work,
Yeah.
behind the microwave. Within I want to say 5 minutes of setting it, it goes off.
Wow.
And we know it worked because we hear it go.
Yeah, that's like
You hear the rusty like springs turning, but it got it.
okay.
And then and then a couple seconds go by, and then we just hear it start rattling around. And it was like the freakiest shit. But like, and
Bobby,
like,
there's an exorcism in the kitchen. Make it stop.
It didn't kill the mouse immediately,
Oh.
but like it ended up killing it, and we I guess we forgot to take it out,
Oh.
and by the time we went to clean it up, it was infested with maggots. But another time, like, we set a few, and, like, one went off, and I think this was over the weekend, or a break or something, so, my mom got up before I did, and I came down, she's like, Jordan, come here, I have to show you something. And, by kind of the toaster, there's this mouse caught in a trap. I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's pretty fat. But then she's like, look closely, and it's like pulsating, like it's still breathing, or its heart's beating or something. And I'm like, oh god. But also, there are these cabinets above my refrigerator that were just full of mouse shit.
Yeah.
And like occasionally my mom would go up there, and at one point, like I think I was in the living room playing Xbox, and my mom doesn't get easily scared or startled.
Okay.
I just hear this shriek come from the kitchen.
Oh God.
Like this is like unusual, so I'm like nervous. I'm like, what happened? She's like, a mouse just like poked its head out at me. And I'm like, oh God. So I think like it was too risky to even put traps there because we were afraid of getting bitten.
Yeah.
So she gets on maybe like a stool, because she's pretty tall, but not like tall enough to like get there easily. And she gets the vacuum cleaner, and like it's got like it's one of those ones. I don't know if this is standard.
Like an
nowadays.
extended hose that comes out of it?
Yeah, it's got the extended
Yeah.
hose, but it's also, so she goes up there and starts like reaching around with it. We hear this boom.
Oh God.
And apparently this is what she wanted to happen. Like this mouse, she pulls it out, and there's this like, we just see this like these furry little legs and this tail sticking out of it, just like flailing around. And our plan, and this worked a few times, was to like have like the tube pointed towards like this plastic cup with a lid.
Okay.
And like then we'd like just like turn the vacuum off, and theoretically it would slide out, and like we just put the lid on and like maybe release it outside or something.
Yeah.
What ended up happening
Oh, it got stuck.
was not only did it get stuck,
Oh.
it fell. It got sucked in. A few of them got sucked in,
God.
and that was just hilarious. Like we got laughing about it. But that's what I said. I have one more dead mouse story,
Mm-hmm.
and then one of the last episodes I told a story about getting hurt at summer camp.
Yeah.
But this is this is a story from the same summer camp. So basically, they do these things. Like usually, you stay in like cabins or like some sort of like well-bedded area.
Yeah.
But like one night out of the week, you're there. You do this thing called an overnight, where you either walk or take this fucking fun wagon ride.
Okay.
Out to like, because the camp's pretty big. It's like surrounding this whole decent-sized lake.
Yeah.
And so there are like different places that they set up kind of camps on. And we went to this one. It has like, I forget if it was old or new. It either had like tents or teepees
Okay.
on it, and like there were like these wooden planks and there were teepees, but that's not important. But usually there's like for some of the there are like 2 ones in like the older kids is part, and there's the forts and the yurts, and for those like you have to like leave and go to this like if you need to go to the bathroom, if you don't just piss in the woods, you go, or if you need to take a shower, which they recommend you do every day.
Okay. I mean, for a reason. It's understandable.
Yeah. So, like you had to go to this bathhouse kind of place. Not like I think I worded that wrong, but like it was like this whole like kind of bathroom shower building.
All right.
Like, with like 3 stalls, 2 urinals, and that was the guy's side. I never went the girl's side because reasons. And then like 4 showers, and then like the youngest kids stayed in like these cabins with like air conditioning and shit, and like built-in bathrooms. And when I did counselor in training, I got to be a counselor for that group, and I ended up getting like this really nice cooperative group.
Yeah.
And I got to like, I only have to walk 15 feet to take a shower. This is great. But anyway, so for the for this overnight, the bathroom, when it's not the woods, is this like old outhouse, and like I think I hear scratching, and I go into it. I either look down or I look up, and there is like, I see like a family of mice, and I think I looked down and there was like a mouse inside of the toilet. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. And like they were coming out of the sides, so we declared like we were just gonna like fuck them up, and we ended up, there were like holes in the ground by the side, and we like covered those up, and eventually we chased the mouse out, and some people got sticks, and I think like one of the counselors like sharpened a giant stick.
Oh my gosh.
And
that counselor has his priorities straight.
Oh yeah. So we chase it out, and like everyone's trying to hit it with sticks, and like someone tried to stab it. It like tries to climb up a tree, and I think it was a counselor with the big sharp stick just hits he just hits it, and like I think it broke its spine, but it's still alive. But the stick broke in half.
Okay.
I quickly thinking, grabbed because the sharpened end fell off.
Yeah.
I grabbed it, and like the Mortal Kombat voice is going in my
Oh,
mind,
God.
and it goes finish him. And I stabbed that mouse, and like I think like it shot out like poop or afterbirth or something.
My goodness.
And so that's that. But and like I think later, like looking back on it, the counselors are like, holy crap, that was like Lord of the Flies pretty much.
This guy just went apeshit on a mouse. What the fuck?
And so I ended up like the next year running into some campers who were who had been with us there, and every time we passed that site, we're like, hey, squeak squeak. That's like our inside joke. And so back to Razor.
Yes, back to Razor. Okay.
This episode, I mean, it's gonna be a bitch to edit, but like it's gonna be a good.
Hey man, just do it raw.
Oh god! Like it'll be full of pauses and talking overs and
Oh yeah, that's true.
like horrible buzzing noises. Cause before you got on, I was talking to Ethan like, okay, we're gonna record tonight, right? What microphone are you using? He's like, just earbuds, and like, how like on some of like the strands of like earbuds, there's like a attached microphone. He just uses those.
Oh my god.
And so he's like, I'm sorry, man. Like all the earphone jacks are like broken, and it just makes a buzzing sound. I'm sorry. Deal with it. I'm like, excuse me? Bitch!
Excuse me? Are you sure you want to say that?
You sure you want to say that? To the editor who can clip your sentences to make you say, like, horrible things?
Oh yeah. Fuck. Baby feels so good.
I wouldn't do that, but,
Oh, God.
you know, it's
You
nice
can,
to know
though.
that
You
I can. Yeah, it's nice to know that I can.
Yeah.
What I thought was funny is, like, the last recording I did was, so I recorded with Nathan on Thursday night.
Mhm.
That episode came out, like, last night, technically this morning, because it was midnight.
Yeah.
But, the day after, I am, like, so excited. I've done a little bit of editing.
Yeah.
But I was really excited because I recruited Miles, and he seemed pretty cool, and I thought he did great. But we record like the night after I had already recorded with Nathan.
God.
So like, how arrogant am I that before I even upload the second episode, I'm already recording episode 3? But with that, if I leave all of it in, because I haven't finished editing that, because I'm an arrogant dick about this too. Before I make episode 3, I've already started on episode 4.
Yeah.
But
Well,
so
I mean, it's sort of, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I mean, it's like if you have a lot, not that so much time in your hands, you at least have the episode, and now you can just go through and just
Yeah.
edit it without having
I mean-
to take like an hour plus, maybe hour and a half plus to actually film it and then go do the editing.
I mean, what's nice about it is, like, because we talked about in one of the previous episodes that, not everyone's gonna be, like, super available for recording all the time. So, like, I don't know when the next recording session's gonna be. So, like, if it doesn't happen all week, I have more stuff to work with.
Yeah.
And we can still, like, consistently put out videos.
Yeah.
So, with Miles, it started out as just us fucking around.
Okay.
And then, like, I think maybe halfway, or maybe, like, in the last, like, maybe 7 minutes, it got, like, really serious.
Okay. Like,
But
how serious?
talking about, like, Ferguson and shit.
Oh, okay, that's pretty damn serious. That'd actually be an interesting topic to get into after we do this
I mean,
razor
it
thing, but
was- And I mean,
know.
like, and I mean, I think that got led into by me joking about with him, like, how fucking stupid the KKK website is, because I, like, looked it up when I was really bored just to see if it was there, and
Yeah.
it is, like, hilariously bad.
Oh, did you
Like-
hear that Anonymous hacked their website and
Yeah,
released
no,
the
I-
identity of, like, their paid leaders?
Yeah, I talked about that in the last,
It's fucking
in the last
hilarious.
one.
I'm just scrolling through Facebook at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I see this post from Anonymous, their Facebook page, and it's like, hey, guess what we did? We hacked into
Yeah,
the KKK and we released all their leaders.
Oh my
It was
god.
fucking
Well,
great.
when I release episode 3, the one with me and Miles, watch it, because we talk about that.
No, I'm planning on doing that.
Okay, cool. But, so, I made a joke, like, yeah, isn't this a great like, about the whole, like, KKK website? I made a joke, like, oh yeah, isn't this, like, a great topic to talk about with my black friend? Because Miles is black,
Yeah.
and, in the middle, in, like, the very start, I'm like, yeah, this is, Miles, and, he's also known as, and I was gonna say Miles, but he interrupted me and said, the black guy!
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
So part of me is saying that we should end it here because it's been like an hour and 10 minutes and this is gonna suck to edit.
Oh, seriously?
But another part of me is saying I'm having fun right now.
Yeah,
like this is
same.
I think this is funny.
Yeah.
So like we could keep going and I could either take this and make a few episodes
Mhm.
or make just one big old goddamn episode.
I would just do like one big old goddamn episode.
Yeah, I kind of
Seriously, because it's like I wanna talk about this racer shit, and I'm able to go into that Anonymous and KKK thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, like, recycle content, so I'm just gonna, like, say, if you want to hear us talk about this, look at the previous video.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I will occasionally, like, reference it,
Mhm.
because telling, like, you and Ethan about it, because Ethan said he didn't watch it yet.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why. But, I mean, also, one of the reasons I brought up, like, the graphics a few times,
Mhm.
like, even though, like, the joke was already in the, episode 2, I wanted to bring it up because if people are just listening to it, they won't see, like, the visual jokes.
Yeah.
So it might get people wanting to go rewatch the video for all the graphics I put in,
Mhm.
because I worked really hard on those.
No, I saw
like,
those, and I was like, that's a lot of photoshopping going on for a lot of this stuff.
You know what's great about that? I didn't use Photoshop. I used frickin' MS Paint.
MS
But
Paint.
MS fucking Paint. I'm gonna go into the
That's sort of like saying I played the original Fallout on like my Sony smartwatch. Okay? And I'm only saying this because someone actually did that. Let me go find it here.
But in the meantime, like the graphic I put up while we were talking about Half-Life 1, it's like I took the cover of like I think it's the like HL1 Game of the Year box, and I worked really hard on this. Like I put my head over Gordon's. I replaced the Lambada symbol with the Lask tag. I replaced Game of the Year with Podcast of the Year. I replaced HL1 with PUNstoppable Force, and I tried to get the spacing right.
Yeah.
And I replaced the the Lambada on the like circle in the middle of his chest thing.
Okay.
With the Lask tag, because I think that's kind of the symbol of our podcast.
All right.
And then I put like on the bottom awarded, and then I changed game to Podcast of the Year by over. It was supposed to say over 50 publications, but I said over 2 publications.
Oh gosh, that typo.
So I must have worked at least like 10 or 20 minutes on that, which is a lot for something that like a lot of people won't even see.
Yeah.
But like I want shit like that to get noticed. So
finally getting to the Razer thing.
Yeah, Razer.
Okay, so all right. Okay, so Razer, I'm gonna start with their keyboard section, even though they're like mice is first, but whatever. So I mean, they do have good products.
Yeah.
They really do. But my friend said that Razer is the Apple of the PC world. That's what he said. They make really nice, sexy-looking products, but are overpriced as fuck. And so right now I'm looking at the Razer Deathstalker Ultimate. It is $250 for this. $250.
Like the keyboard glows green, and there's like a side screen on the
keyboard. It has like a
something.
side touchpad on the fucking keyboard, which I can understand.
Yeah, that shows like your health or something.
Yes,
but
I mean, like my router that I just bought, like a router and modem combined, because something happened with our router and our modem recently that had to make us do this, and so it was painstakingly long time. I'm not going to get into it, but it took me. I'm just going to say this: it took me all of Saturday, and nothing happened. Until my sister and my mom, kudos to them, fixed it. But what happened is that when we got the new router and modem, it was like $230, and I'm looking at this keyboard and it's $250, and I'm like, this is a keyboard with a touchpad attached to it, and it's $250 for a keyboard and a touchpad combined into one. I don't know.
So I remembered. I forget what you said that brought this up in my mind, but yesterday the thought came to me that technology is changing really fast.
Oh, it definitely is. Really is.
And I'm 16. I consider myself rather young, but I'm already gonna start sounding like old.
Yeah.
Because I remember things that apparently younger generations don't. Like, but I was talking to one of my music teachers, great guy.
Yeah.
But he like knows like all the history of rock and roll. It's fucking great.
Oh god.
But he was telling me since he works with like a wide age range of students.
Okay.
But like he told me about like I think it was like one of his like younger students. So this guy, he was telling a younger student to find this one CD because he thinks he'd like it.
Yeah.
And the kid didn't know what a CD was.
Oh my god.
Like, are we really that like too far ahead? Like, I said like, what the fuck? Didn't those like just come out? Like, I grew up with like cassettes.
Yes, I did also. I remember those. I grew up with floppy disks, and I still use floppy disks. I shit you not. We have this really old camera up in my attic that we hardly use, but we used floppy disks with that camera up until like 2011 or so, I believe.
Oh my god.
We were still using floppy disk, and recently I went over to a friend's house. It was an exchange student over at my school who invited me over to his place, and we were just like playing FIFA on his Xbox, and then his like host parent comes home with the other like his host sisters and whatnot from their elementary school, and they run over to their piano and they pull out a floppy disk. And the first thing that came to my mind is, why the fuck does the piano have a floppy disk slot? And the second thing that came to my mind is, why the fuck is there a floppy disk?
Okay,
I was so confused, but intrigued by this.
I have a floppy disk story.
Okay.
So, first semester of sophomore year.
Alright.
Ethan and I were in this class together, so he remembers it. Composition.
Yeah.
Our teacher, for our final, because it was like the very end of the first semester, for our final, we had to do this piece that was like compare and contrast about two different like technologies, and like make a statement like which one is better. So some people did like Mac versus PC, some people did like Xbox versus PlayStation. I think it was like Xbox One versus PS4, because those I don't think they had come out yet.
I mean, they had
just come out or something.
I think they did just like come out during that time.
This was a little under a year ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
But so I decide to do flash drives versus floppy disks.
Okay. That's actually a really good topic, and I want to say this because you're taking one technology that was the like predecessor to just stamp cards and paper recording things. And I remember this one picture of Bill Gates like hanging out a rope into like a few trees around him, and he had like this stack of paper like 50 feet so high, and he said, "This one floppy disk in my hand will contain all of this and more." And I was like, damn, what the hell? And now I'm looking at technology and we see flash drives. Like, here's a 2 gigabyte, here's a 4 gigabyte, here's an 8 gigabyte flash drive. And we could say that here is like a stack of floppy disks. Now, not like 50 feet, but like, here's a few feet stack of floppy disk. All of that data could fit into this flash drive. To be truthful, I'm not sure what the size of the average floppy disk is, but I can only say
like the 3.5 or 3.25 inch, I forget which one, is like 1 or 2 megabytes.
Okay, yeah, that's like 100 feet or something.
But there's this famous like horrible calculation that's like, I think many years ago, Bill Gates predicted that he said that computers, people will never need more than, I think it was around 300 kilobytes of memory for their computer. We have terabytes now, and that's now the
No, not even terabytes. We're getting into the petabyte age really quickly. I mean, Google has already reached it. Their servers contain over like 21 petabytes of data from everything that's going on. And so, I mean, if you look at how many terabytes are going into that, that's about 200,000, give or take, terabytes going in all of that.
So back to the topic of the presentation I had to do for class.
Okay.
So we had to actually present these to the class, and so
Oh, did you bring in a floppy disk?
I brought in a few floppy disks.
Oh, yes.
So I went through the history of floppy disks, and I'm like, the reason they're called floppy disks was because, and I pulled out like a 5.25 inch one and started like flopping it around, like, because they're floppy. The original ones were like, because like the original one was like 8 inches or something.
Yeah.
Maybe even more than that. And then like I talked about, basically I did some research, and like floppy disks were like the most expensive per gig. Like they were cheap for like individually, but like as they add up, they're more expensive per gig. And so basically in the competition, the flash drive destroyed the floppy disk. Because, like, you can lose everything on a floppy disk so easily by, like, tapping it too hard or leaving it, like, in the light too long or something. And then I said, but, at the very end, I said, but, like, this wasn't in my, the paper form of it, but it was in my presentation. I said, but there is one advantage to the floppy disk. You can't do this with a flash drive. I pulled out a stack of floppy disks.
Oh, gosh.
That, like, maybe, like, 5 or 10 floppy disks of all different colors. And I said, make it rain! And I started, like, making it rain, like throwing them everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
And everyone started cracking up, and I picked him up and like walked off. I want to call it stage, but it was just the front of the class.
A+, best presentation ever.
Actually, I got like an A or an A- on it.
Okay, that's good.
But,
That's really good.
Like, I remember there was a time when I knew how to operate a VCR.
Oh,
and
I still know how to use a VCR. We still have a VCR that's working in my attic.
Yeah, so do I.
We don't use it, but we still have videotapes in the VCR.
I mean, like, for a while I forgot how to use a DVD player.
I mean, everything is going online now. And, I mean, going from the whole data thing can progress on how we are seeing certain things. So going into the movie age, it was like, back in the day when movies first appeared, you would have to go to the theater. And then, later on, movies were starting to be shown on TV. So you didn't necessarily have to go to the theater. You could just wait for like a month or something, or like a few weeks, and you'll see it on your TV. And then after that, it started to go on tape and then CD. Well, yeah, now there's Netflix. But I mean, it started to go from here's a VCS, or wait, VCR. Seriously, sorry. Fuck.
I can edit it out.
A VCR.
Or I can leave it in and make you sound stupid.
Yes, a VCR.
In fact, I can cut out the part where you correct yourself and make you sound even worse.
Oh my God. I don't care what you do, but a VCR. And then it went over to a CD. Like, okay, I can now go to a store and physically buy this thing. And now those are completely gone, and it is all online. Netflix, Google Play, Roku TV, which is, I think that's just like a user interface that allows you to connect to apps, but whatever.
And I mean, we are a lot, like, when we were young, like, the internet was still like an up and coming thing. Like, it was just becoming popular, and like, you had to do it through the phone.
Oh my God, I still remember the dial-up mode sound.
If you use your internet and the phone at the same time,
back in the day, that is true. If you're using your phone and internet at the same time, that is just unheard of.
But imagine, like, explaining to future generations, like, telling our grandkids, or even kids, because of the rate it's going, like, you see, when I was your age, if we wanted to watch a movie, we couldn't just go on the internet. We had to go to the store, buy it, and it wasn't like just, you couldn't just download it. It came in the form of a plastic brick full of tape.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dad, that doesn't make sense! Oh, but it did.
But it did back in my day.
Back in my day, you see, and if you didn't, you couldn't just click the scroll bar if you had already seen a part in it, to go to the part you wanted. You had to fast forward it. And, this was hard, because fast forwarding and pausing alike, when you did it, the screen would shake uncontrollably.
Yeah, it kinda would.
And it would make this weird whirring sound.
Yes.
And you could overshoot it completely.
Yes.
Also, regular fast forwarding and rewinding and pausing were bad for the tape.
Yeah, the tapes
so if
like
you
that,
wanted
it would
to
just
get
get destroyed.
If you wanted to get through a lot of it, you had to stop it, then fast forward it with like no visual to help you, and just thinking you knew what time it was.
Yes.
But the cool thing was, you could if you wanted to record a TV show or a movie on TV, you could buy a blank. You could buy a blank plastic brick full of tape at the store, pop it in your VCR. Well, the fancy ones had recording things on them.
Yeah, we have.
Where
one
you
in
could,
my attic has that record feature on.
And so, and then you could record it. But these didn't automatically come with file names. If you wanted to know what it was, you had to put a label on it. And
you have to take that good old Sharpie and write down what it was.
And, but if you didn't notice that label, or like you forgot to label it, you didn't know what was on there unless you like went and watched it. So you could be in a hurry to record something and accidentally tape over something important.
Oh yeah.
You could be wanting to watch. You could accidentally lose like half your wedding video.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to watch Super Bowl commercials, which back then were funny.
Yeah. I remember
Like, have
it's
you
like the Super Bowl commercials just like stopped getting funny like after 2009 or 2010. I remember during that time I was like 5th grade, 6th grade. I was watching Super Bowl commercials and I was cracking up either because I was a kid and I had like no sense of humor, or it was legitimately funny
Yeah.
and I was laughing at this.
No,
But-
they got funnier. I mean, there are occasionally some good ones.
Yeah.
Like a few years back, there was this one of like, I forget what it was, but like the song "Sexy and I Know It" had just come out.
Oh yeah.
And like this Eminem like rips off its like shell or clothes or whatever
Uh-huh.
and starts dancing to like wiggle 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 wiggle.
Oh,
yeah.
I know that song.
And
That is old.
yeah, no, that'll be like I don't know. But and then like I think another one was like this kid's like mom like invites the kid's like stepdad or her boyfriend or something over, and like the game's going on, the football game's going on TV or something.
Yeah.
And like he's got like a big bowl of Doritos. And he's like, and the stepdad's like trying to bond with the kid, and he's all like, oh, cool, you got like your game going, you got your Doritos here, and he goes to like eat one of the Doritos, and the kid just gives him the look. I forget if he like takes the Dorito out of his hands or just like gives him the look, and he just says, and I quote, "Y'all better stay away from my mama and stay away from my Doritos." And, like, those were the last, like, good Super Bowl commercials I can remember. But apparently, like, decades ago, they were really funny. Like, apparently, like, Apple did this one that was, like,
Apple had
it
some
was-
pretty creative videos back in what it was like finally becoming an actual thing.
I
Like
think
when the
I
Macintosh
think-
finally was released, the opening like video for that
Oh, yeah,
Macintosh.
they were called Apple Airs. They were called Macintosh.
I know.
And the logo, I mean, the logo went from, like, Newton sitting under an apple tree
Yeah.
to a like a rainbow apple, and now to your weird gray apple
Yes.
made out of it thing. And so fucking oh yeah, so apparently I think this was in the year 1984.
Okay.
They referenced either the movie or the book or both 1984, which came out like I think 20 years before that, around that.
Okay.
And it's so funny to see like sci-fi stories that like wrongly predict the future.
Oh God.
Like, oh, by 2010 we'll all have flying cell phone cars.
Flying
And
cell phone
whatnot.
cars.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest thing to that is, I mean, exclude the flying, and you have cars that can like do calls in the car itself, or cars that have Wi-Fi built into it.
And then like frickin' Y2K was a thing.
Yeah.
Think about it. We lived through that.
Mhm.
Like, think about if we live to be, I think a few years over 100, we will have lived through 3 centuries.
Yeah.
And like millennials can't say that.
Yeah.
But in class the other day, someone asked what Y2K stood for,
Oh, God.
and I said I'm pretty sure it's like year 2000. I'm like, oh wow, that sounds so much less intimidating. I'm like, yeah, it does.
I mean, the Y2K sort of thing was that people did not believe that computers could hit this certain number. And I believe
Well,
it was like they were finally getting to like the gigabyte era during this time. I don't really know exactly what it was, and so
You know,
I'm
the
just gonna
only
go look it
thing
up.
that actually worked on, I don't know when the iPod Touch came out, like the first
The
one.
iPod Touch, iPod Classic. That's what I want.
No, but the iPod Touch, I'm pretty sure it came out after 2000. I'm fairly certain
I
it came
was
out after 2000.
for sure around 2000 or after 2000.
But, like, that still works like how they thought
Yep.
Y2K was gonna happen. Because, so basically how it happened was my mom got the iPod, she got the iPod original.
Hey, quick thing.
Like,
It was
you know,
October
the plastic-
23rd, 2001.
Yeah, the plastic brick.
I'm
that
looking at it
gets
right
hot
now.
and You can hear like a motor running inside of it when you're playing music. But she also got like the original iPod Touch, but didn't like take it out of the box for a few years because she just had her iPod original.
Mm-hmm.
And then at like some point I got obsessed with iPod Touches, and I said I was gonna buy it from her. I offered to buy it from her, and I like traded her in like my iPod, which was like a second gen Nano.
Okay.
I ended up like trading it all back because I needed money and I missed my old iPod, which I got when I was like 10, and it's got like Jordan U Rock inscribed in the back, and it was just good memories.
Yeah.
But so I became obsessed and I like traded some stuff for it. but occasionally the date and time would like randomly set back to like 12 in the afternoon, January 1st, 1999.
I have a Sega
I
Dreamcast.
don't know why. I don't know why that was a thing. Oh, so I personally think old stuff is really cool.
No, I love the old things. I really do. Especially older TV shows.
Like,
those are the best.
A few years ago, I took a trip to like Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And I like my parents or someone was like visiting and doing boring grown-up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like this one other kid, but they were a few years younger than me. And so they're like, oh, you're probably... The adults were like, oh, you're probably bored with our adult stuff. Do you want to go to the basement and play video games? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And they're like, sorry, they're a bit, like, old and dated. I'm like, oh my god.
Yes!
I've
finally been given the chance.
I go down... No, this gets good. I go down there. They have a fucking N64 with like Ocarina of Time and Smash Original.
Oh my god.
I almost jizzed myself.
Dude, I would have orgasmed like a million times over.
But so back to Super Bowl commercials. So like Apple did a commercial that was like I think in the year 1984, referencing like the book or movie or both.
I think it was the movie 1984 where it's like the one girl is like running around swinging the hammer and she aims it at the TV and that TV is like
at the TV,
yeah,
and then everyone's mind is changed and like think differently or some shit. You know what happened later?
What?
Half-Life 2 referenced either the commercial or the movie because they had like Breen on a giant fucking screen and then like Alex Vance runs in and throws the crowbar at it.
Oh wow.
And in the last one, or one of the last ones, Nathan and I talked about
you were talking about the crowbar being the most
is.
iconic weapon in like video game history.
One of them.
Yeah, one of them, not the
like,
most, but one of the most.
And the fire flower.
It's like, I mean, you could definitely add the sorry to interrupt you, but you could definitely add the energy sword from like the original Halo to that.
Oh yeah. I would personally like to apologize to any viewers who got super pissed when Nathan said Half-Life 1 came out in like late 80s,
oh god,
early 90s.
I watched that and I was like, Nathan, I'm sorry, but what the fuck?
Like, I was surprised. I got it right, or at least within a year of right the first time, because I said it came out like 15 years ago, and he's like, no dude, more than that. And then we correct ourselves, he corrected himself later, but I imagine some people might get upset at that.
I was watching that and I was like, Nathan, what the fuck? The late 80s, early 90s? What the hell?
And then I was...
The furthest thing that we had during that time was like 16-bit 2D graphics. There wasn't like Half-Life 1.
Yeah, and I mean, mid-80s was like Mario.
Mid-80s was like Mario, Sonic, which I preferred definitely the Sega Master System, which was the competing console against the Nintendo Entertainment System, and Sonic for that system, I really do like it a lot more than playing on the NES.
I also got my facts wrong when I said Pong was just kind of being developed then.
I heard that also, and I was like, Jordan... fucking like the 1970s was Pong was created.
Yeah, it was like 72, but at least I said don't quote me on that because I don't think it's right.
You at least said that. I'm not sure.
I don't think that's right. And then I think I remembered later I said I think it actually might have been 70s because I believe at one point I was like watching that 70s show and they were like flipping their shit over Pong.
I mean, you were saying that, it was either you or Nathan who was saying that the whole, like, video game industry was, like, a 40-year type industry starting with Pong. And that sort of, like, I don't want to say upset, but it sort of got me thinking, like, it can't be, because back in 1953, I forgot the scientist's name, but he created, tennis for two in, like, this laboratory in Washington, D.C., and it was just like held up in a library, and every day like people would just go to this library and just play tennis for two. And so I forgot the scientist, and I believe it was on like a lysoscope or whatever the fuck how you pronounce it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was it was old, but it was just like blue graphics. It was like Pong, but
so I would like to formally apologize for any like historical errors I made in the last or in a few episodes ago. I want to say episode 2. So.
But I mean, it isn't a 40-year industry.
40
day. My bad. 40-year
Look
industry.
how far it's gotten.
It has gotten really. Look, just take a look at this. We've started with like Pong. We've started with like the Atari VCS system way back in the day. That was just horrible. I mean, considered to us today who are playing on like PC or like the new consoles at the time, like 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, we're looking at those graphics and it's like, those are absolute shit. But back in the day when you looked at those, you were like, what the fuck?
How the fuck did they do
It's
this?
like, how were you able to seriously, how were you able to program this?
But I don't want to go too far into this because I don't want to recycle content.
Yeah, I mean, it's not more like recycling content. It sort of seems like we're just catching up on it. We're just like, it's like on the previous episode, I don't think we went into much about how the industry changed technology-wise, but...
I'm just saying, if we're gonna go, like, this long, I don't want to be just talking about the same stuff over and over again.
I got you. No, but I definitely want to talk about the whole, like, hardware aspect that went into making this. Like, if you were to really take a look at it, the NES system was, like, just a few megabytes of RAM and this horrible-ass CPU and GPU.
And that's all you needed.
Yeah, that's all you really needed. And then it went into the 16-bit age, and you saw the whole, like, Sega coming out. During this time, you know, everyone was just jizzing their pants over Sega's system. I'm serious with you. Because the graphics on Sega systems were so fucking good. They were seriously good. The Sega Saturn, as much as a fail that was during this time, like the early 90s, mid-90s, it was beautiful.
So, I don't know when this came out or what system it was. I think it was like in the middle of the 80s. But this was like one of the worst video games of all time. And it was the fucking E.T. video
Atari
game.
E.T. on the Atari Jaguar, I believe it was on.
Yeah, something like that. And it was like buggy as fuck, like unplayable.
Yes.
And I heard, I don't know if this is true, that like all the copies were like recalled and like in a dump in like New Mexico.
Yes, I heard it. I saw this article, like a video of like people just like estimating all of the like thousands of copies of Atari
like,
ET.
Yeah.
You could buy it too. I'm not sure how many are still on sale, but like during the time this article came out, there was like a link saying you can either go here or go into this website. Go here, as in, like, go to the store.
I hear they're just awful.
Yeah, it was a shitty fucking game, but I mean, it was like, you can buy it, it is a piece of history, but it was a horrible game.
I mean, like, nowadays, like, Pong's not gonna go for like $60.
No, Pong's just like free. People have programmed that in Flash. I programmed that myself in scratch.mit.edu for my computer science class.
Oh my god, I fucking love Scratch. I have not used that program in so long.
So good.
Like, back when I would work on like this, I think it was like OS X Mac desktop. That was like I had done like it was kind of a programming camp.
Okay.
But it was like we mainly used Scratch, and I later went on to programming camps, like learning how to do HTML and Flash, which I forgot how to do those.
I
in, like,
still
a week.
remember how to do HTML because
I forgot within a week of learning.
Second semester freshman year, I was in Web Page Design 1, and I absolutely love the class. So I still know how to program in HTML and a bit of CSS.
Yeah, but Scratch was just so great, and I would like make stuff on. Sometimes I would just make drawings, but that's what I use MS Paint for now.
I mean, Scratch was like the whole introduction to what you have to do to program. Like, all of how you would form the blocks together is how you would just type a line of code in, let's say, Java or C++.
But they just gave you like bricks of commands that already were coded.
Yeah, that's all they did. But I mean, it gave you the whole experience. Like, okay, you know, I have to start out with doing this, and then after that I have to go do this, that, and the other. And oh, wait a minute, this is exactly what I have to do in Java. But in Java, I would have to actually type it out. But
my Scratch career sadly came. Oh, that sounds so weird. But it sadly came to an end when that particular Macintosh shut off and never turned back on again.
Oh gosh.
It just crashed one day. I think my family, since I got my computer, we have gone through like I want to say 3 or 4, maybe 5 Macs and 1 PC.
We haven't gone through like anything seriously. We had this 1 XP computer we got back in like 2005. Oh no, I take it back. We did have like some laptops during that time, but they were running like Windows 98, and you could like upgrade them to XP. But we had that, but then after that, that just like went out of the picture in like seconds. But we had this like Windows XP up until, I shit you not, 2012. XP. I was using this crappy XP computer, which XP is great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, XP is great. I heard it's like some people think it's the best Windows. I mean,
I don't know, man. Windows Vista exists.
But like,
I still have a Vista desktop.
Jesus. But wasn't like XP like the last one that had Microsoft SAM?
Microsoft SAM? You mean like the little like paperclip thing that annoyed the absolute fuck out of you?
No. Oh. Have you I'm trying to think of something that uses it. Have you ever seen the show Arby and the Chief?
I have not, no.
Oh my god. I think it's on like Machinima or something.
Okay.
But
I'm not too big of a fan of Machinima.
This like really okay. I mean, I don't watch a lot of their stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, some of their stuff is
yes,
good.
I will admit to that.
I mean, and I'm not bashing them. They're pretty great. Yeah. But
they're more of like the start out to like every single YouTuber out there. So like CNanners and Sark and like all these other YouTubers. I believe it like Vanos and Kway or Speedy. I'm not sure about him, but they started on Machinima, just doing whatever the fuck, and then after that they just like quit out of Machinima and do their own sort of thing.
Yeah, they're like this really cool starter program. But anyway, so I'm gonna do my best MS Salmon voice, but it's like, oh hi, how you doing? It was just this really entertaining, like text to speech voice.
Okay.
For like people who can't like I don't know. I don't know what it was for, but like Windows 7 has like MS Anna, and it's just no one likes you.
I mean, I feel like there's some still like programs. I started up my Windows 8 computer, and it's like I clicked on a button toggle before I signed into my account, and this one weird guy just started talking and explaining what was on the page. And so I mean, I'm not sure if you would count it as that, but I mean, I still feel like they're going for like the somewhat sort of like text to speech sort of thing. I don't really know, but I feel like in some situations they still have that going on. But I'm not too sure.
Jesus, I really hope my microphone is like good in this.
Yes,
one
I'm listening to you over Skype. It sounds crystal clear.
I mean, like, I hope the volume levels are normal, because one of the biggest things about editing is like not just like sentence clipping, because like there's a lot of, you know, pauses, like but like what was I talking about, like shit like that I have to cut out.
Yeah, I do actually. I want to bring this topic up really quickly. It's a
Can I finish this?
Oh yeah, please do so.
So that's like how I did episode 2, and I'm probably gonna like change it up, but I did all the sentence clipping and like some of the leveling of audio. And then I added the intro, you know, that like guitar lick I played for the intro. And so I put in like the backtrack and like the intro, and then I, without like previewing it, because it was like 50 minutes, and I had already heard the like it's fun to edit like the first time through, and then like you go through it the second time through, and like eventually you run it times through so many times you're just sick of your own voice. And it's like if you got like locked in a room with someone for like maybe 3 or 5 hours every day for like 3 days, and all they did was tell you the same story over and over again. That's what editing a podcast is like.
Oh gosh.
But I mean, for one of these, I could just leave in everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, the first one, I had to cut some stuff out.
Mhm.
The first one is 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think I had like an hour and 45 minutes of actual content.
Oh shit.
And I just figured, I cut out part of it because I think I made like a really horrible joke.
Yeah.
Like, not like horrible as in like it wasn't funny. Like, it got the guys laughing. But, I don't know if you've seen the first episode.
I did
but
see
there's
that.
a part where I set up a joke and then cut it out like, this part has been removed because it is too offensive.
Yeah, that one. I remember that.
And then I cut back in with the guys laughing really hard and like, oh god, you have to edit that out. I am not gonna tell anyone else that joke.
You should tell me when the recording's over.
Oh yeah.
I want to hear this. But I do want to get into this topic about like Android wear or like wearable sort of things. So like the Apple iWatch is coming out. Android has had like watches, like smart watches coming out, the Google Glass sort of thing. And so I want to talk about this one kid, and I got the article in front of me. I'm not going to quote it exactly, but it was this guy who had a Samsung Gear Live smartwatch was able to load Windows 95 onto it.
Oh god,
and it was
that's
usable,
great.
funny too. And here it is. Yeah, and yesterday revealed footage of Game Boy Color games running on the Android operating system. And I have seen that there was like a few like NES or like SNES games on it.
There are apps for that on Android. Like, I don't know about Apple products.
No, I mean, you would have
Android,
jailbreak your
like,
app product if you were to like emulate something.
Yeah, pretty much. This is how my conversations with like Ethan go. Like, he's like, oh, my iPhone is so great. I can do all this cool stuff because I jailbroke it. And I'm like, yeah, my Android's pretty cool because I can do more than what you said, and I didn't have to jailbreak.
Yeah, I have an Android. Recently bought it. Fucking love it. It's true. It really is.
Yeah, like I got the S5.
Oh, okay.
And that is like one. I think I heard it was like one of the best phones on the market.
I was looking at the. Okay, you know what? I want to get the specs of this S5 really quickly.
It is pretty good, but it's like either 1 or like half an inch off from the Galaxy tablet.
Yeah.
It is huge. Like, I'm glad I have like giant hands.
Yeah. Okay, so I want.
But for like, there's this. I am gonna promote the shit out of this app because it is just so cool. It's called like My Boy. It's like $5, but totally freaking worth it. It is a fully functional Game Boy Advance emulator. And it's like $5, but if you go on like sites like Cool ROM, you can download like almost every Game Boy game ever.
Oh man.
For free.
Oh, that's great.
And play it. And I remember getting a Game Boy.
I still have my Game Boy Advance. I still remember going over to like Best Buy or Meijer, Target, and buying like the Pokemon Ruby games. Or like some other random ass Game Boy games. I have like a few like Hot Wheel games for it.
Yeah, because they sold Game Boy games, and like I got my Game Boy when I was 5, and I was so happy, and that was like the big new cool ass thing.
I got mine I think in like 4th or 3rd grade, somewhere around there.
And then like the DS came out.
Yeah, I got
and, like,
that
the original DS was like this giant plastic brick.
Yeah.
And then the DS Lite came out, and like people like you couldn't find those anywhere in stores.
Yeah.
And then I got my mom and I both like she got us both DS Lites for Christmas, and like cause my mom's a gamer too.
Yeah.
Because she's fucking cool. Like actually, she's better at like Nintendo games than I am, and so like for some DS games, like we'd share DS games, and like she unlocked everything in Mario Kart DS for me.
Mario Kart DS was a great game. I played that so much I broke the bumper buttons on the back of the on the back.
Oh my god, me too!
I mean, I think it's the left one that still works, but I went fucking ham on the right one for the drift. That is broken and like rarely works, and so I have to play my DS games if I'm gonna play that one on my 3DS because I can't.
I remember like going to the store and buying Leaf Green at Best Buy, and like this was a normal thing. Like the shelves were stocked with Game Boy games, and, like there were some DS games coming out.
Yeah.
And like when the DS came out, touchscreens were like new as fuck. And so this was like the coolest thing ever. And then the fucking Wii came out.
I know.
Oh my god. the Wii came
That
out.
motion
And
control
that was
sweet.
like motion sensors weren't like a huge thing then, and people were like losing their shit
Yeah.
over the Wii. Okay, so earlier you were talking about running stuff off of other stuff.
Oh yeah, the smartwatch.
So,
yeah, I want to get back into that, but this guy was able to put fucking Fallout 1 onto a Samsung Gear Live smartwatch. And the only reason why he did it was for the fact that someone said he couldn't. and so I mean, it's not like reasonable to be playing the game. It has like a shit FPS, it like hardly runs. But some of the Game Boy Color games that he put on there run actually really well on the smartwatch.
Okay, so in the first video, like episode 1, Comedy's Lask stand, because each of them gotta have a Lask pun.
Yeah.
I mentioned someone who, for the sake of kindness, I nicknamed Logsoggener.
Yep, I remember that.
We were like the only class we had together was math support, and we would just get into weird conversations about like nothing, like the Linux conversation and the oh god, I have another story that
oh god, before you get into that other story, I do want to mention the Samsung S5 specs quickly. And so I mean, it is saying that the processor is a 2.5 gigahertz quad core. Not sure exactly what it is, but I'm just going to guess it's a Qualcomm Snapdragon.
It's fucking good. Like it's that awkward moment when I realized my phone might be more powerful than my computer.
My phone is more powerful than one of my one of my friend's computers. I'm sorry, my computer is like a fully fucking PC beast. So I mean, it's not.
I think I've seen it.
I think you might have.
But so Logsoggener. Well, I think we were talking about video games or calculators or something, and he told me that he saw this video online. Like he said that like someone like hacked a graphing calculator so it could play Halo 3, and I'm like,
what?
Are you?
I did hear that someone was able to put Super Smash on a TI-83, which was fucking hilarious.
Okay, I didn't.
And I programmed myself a Pong on my own TI-83, which is great because I'm sitting in math class like, oh, I'm bored, so I'm just gonna go play fucking Pong.
Like, at first, I told this story not thinking that was possible and that someone probably just, like, edited it to look like
No,
that.
it's completely possible. They have websites out there that are like, here's the code so you can manually type it in yourself, or here's like a download link so you can take the download file and put it onto your calculator and upload it. So you have the actual game. And so I was on this one site, and I was like, I never programmed on a TI-83, and I was like, I don't know how to do this, so I'm just gonna go check it out. And I found Pong, and I'm like, alright, I'll program that.
Oh, okay, that's great. Cool. So now I know. I might cut that part out because I sound a bit stupid, but
it's alright.
But let me tell you another Logsoggener story.
Okay.
So he, as I mentioned in the first video, like would annoy the shit out of me in math support class, like asking me for girl advice for some reason.
Yeah.
And at one point, like I just got frustrated with him, and earlier that day I think I was walking to like jazz class or something, and I accidentally bumped into this guy, and I don't know if he was like high or something.
Okay.
But he was acting really weird. He's like, oh man, I'm so sorry, man. Like, here, take this chain. And he just gave me this like small red chain. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. So I just put it in my pocket because like I didn't know what to do with it. And then later, Logsoggener is asking me like girl advice, and I pulled the chain out of my pocket, and I'm like, earlier today I bumped into a wizard. And he gave me this chain that allows me to read people's minds.
Oh god.
And he was like skeptical a bit at first.
Don't tell me he believed it.
No, he believed it.
Oh god.
I mean,
excuse me while I just jump out of the window quickly.
No, he kind of called bullshit at first. He's like, no, and I told him, I can use it to read the mind of the girl you like.
Oh
And
god.
he's like, okay, what's she thinking about? And like, she was nowhere near the room.
Okay.
And without like any sort of proof that this is what she was thinking about,
Yeah.
I said she's thinking about homework, and he's like, whoa. He's like, wait, what am I thinking about? I'm like, you're thinking about the girl you like. And he freaked out. He's like, oh man, I don't feel safe in my own thoughts anymore. And I'm like, you should. I can hear all of them when I hold this chain. And I think he wanted to try. I'm like, it only works with me. And he didn't like try to get it to work like, at all. Like, he didn't ask me other questions
Yeah.
and think about other stuff. Like, he just believed me on the first guess.
Yeah.
And so that was fucking hilarious to me.
Oh my gosh.
Also, I would never be this mean to someone unless they like really pissed me
Mhm.
off. And I also, because he was pissing me off. So on my old phone, which was like the Samsung brick, Intensity 3. I think you used to have.
I
it.
had Intensity 2, which was
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I heard like, okay, so I had the Intensity 1, and after that I upgraded to the Intensity 3.
Okay.
And then now I have the S5. But the Intensity 1 was good. I skipped the 2 and just went up to 3,
Mhm.
and I was reading reviews online and heard the 2 was just awful.
I mean, when I was
What's
using
a
it,
three?
I liked it personally.
The 3, I mean, for like, it was like $50,
Uh-huh.
and for what you pay for it, and like what it is, it's really good.
Yeah.
But I had that, and what I could do with that, I don't know if I can do this with my new phone, but what I could do is I could add a new contact,
Okay.
name it whatever I wanted. So I named it, the name of the girl he liked,
Yeah.
and then I'd put my own phone number in the and like the number, so I could like text that number,
Mhm.
like, and then it would like within a few seconds send the exact same message back to me.
Okay.
So I told him I was like texting her, and so I typed a message under the table on my phone, and then I pressed send and set it down on the table
Mhm.
for him, and then like seconds after, he thinks she responded to me.
Oh my gosh.
So like a few seconds later, I get a text back. He's like, "Whoa, I thought she was thinking about homework. Like, she shouldn't be like responding that fast." I'm like, "Well, I guess she just thinks I'm important." And so basically, one of the like, he'd ask me like really weird advice. Like at one point he's like, "Should I sing to her?" And I'm like, "You know what? She just texted me saying, yeah, you should." But I think the worst thing he suggested, I gave him advice, like, I think it's easy to give other people like girl advice, but then like the exact same advice is hard to follow on your own.
Yeah.
But I told him, like, just ask her if she wants to go see a movie or something. And he's like, "Oh, if she says yes, will she kiss me right then?" I'm like, "What? No." And he's like, "Should I slap her ass?" I'm like,
Should I slap her ass?
I'm like, fucking no. I mean, I could have said, actually, even if she says no, you should probably slap her ass, because girls love that shit. But I'm not that mean.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is great.
Dude, we don't have to stop if you don't want to. I'm perfectly fine with continuing going, but we've been recording for over 2 hours.
Yeah, we've been recording for a while
Are
now.
you still having fun though?
Yes.
Me too. Let's make this the longest goddamn PUNstoppable Force podcast
You're
ever.
gonna upload this like shit. That took a while.
Like a little bragging moment. I showed the oh yeah, because after I recorded all of episode 2, Nathan and I continued talking, well, like, about the channel and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had like one more kind of joke to say.
Okay.
And I decided to record it as like a promo. And I don't know if you saw the promo on Facebook. It's just like 2 minutes, but it's like the first one that features. It's a promo for episode 2, and it's the first one that features like the like me with the kind of smirk on my face in the headset picture,
Okay.
the whole like wombat gimmick.
Yeah.
And it's the first time it features the the shred-tastic intro and the background music. But some friends who I have not recorded with, but I might want to sometime if they're up for that, added me to their call, and I'm like, hey guys, I've been doing this YouTube channel, and do you guys want to check out this promo for episode 2? Because I'm not super happy with how episode 1 yet went, because I mean, it's like the first time I've ever edited anything or at least for a really long time, or not something of that scale. And I haven't done that much audio work, and there's no music whatsoever.
It's more like a first video, and I can understand what you say.
It's a first video, so it's not that. I mean, I think it's decent.
The first video is more of let's continue off of this and let's see what I can improve and let's see what I may have to not do. It's more of a video that's here's room for improvement. Here's what I may think about it, here's what some other people may think about it. Let's take that and let's put it into the next one. The first video, it's the first quarter over in school. It doesn't count at all towards your GPA. You're great. No, I'm not shitting you. The first quarter does not count towards your GPA.
So I went to show. I linked him to the promo, and he heard the first, the 7-second intro, and he's like, "Oh shit, is that you on guitar?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "You got good."
You got good.
Cause he's like, "You got better." Cause me and him used to play in a band together, and I'm still in a band, just a different one.
Yeah.
We practiced today. That went well.
That's good.
So far the 3 we do cover songs, but the 3 songs we're doing are The Trooper, Number of the Beast, both by Iron Maiden, and then Cowboys from Hell by Pantera.
Okay.
I'm singing on all of them and soloing on the 2 Iron Maiden.
Oh god.
I literally. Have you heard the song Cowboys from Hell?
I do not believe so. I can just YouTube it.
Have you heard of the band Pantera?
No.
Okay, yeah, listen to Cowboys from Hell. That is hard as fuck to sing, and after I sang it twice, my throat hurt, I had a headache, and I was dizzy, and I couldn't talk coherently for the next 2 minutes. I was like, singing the feeling some okay, and I was kind of leaning to this. I was leaning back and forth in the air, I couldn't get my balance, cause lack of oxygen.
Oh, I like it. I'm liking it.
Yeah, when you hear the vocals, you'll be like, oh Jesus. But I'm having fun, and I think we're on a roll.
Yes, truthfully. But actually, wait a minute. What about phone discussion?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Do you want to do add more onto something else? Or
oh shit, I remembered another topic I wanted to talk about. Okay. Either TV shows that were either really good and got canceled, or are really good, but I don't think a lot of people know about them.
Okay. Oh shit, the lyrics finally came on, and I can understand.
Under the lights we stand tall!
Yeah, I know, it's
shout out!
Fuck, dude. I feel you.
Yeah. I mean, that probably sounded awful coming from me over the microphone, but with a professional microphone and with us playing guitar in the background, that was decent. And MTV had some good shows that got canceled. Beavis and Butthead was great, and then more recent, I want to say a few years ago, and Beavis and Butthead came back in 2011, but I think some complaints were that their comedy was a little bit more highbrow. It was still jokingly stupid, but the humor was a little more insightful. There was this episode where they're just walking around town, and they stumble upon an abortion clinic, but they don't know it's an abortion clinic, and all they can interpret and try to figure out what it is there are protesters outside with megaphones yelling whores, fornicators, and they're Butthead says to me something dude, this is a whorehouse. Cool, whores, prostitutes. We should go in there. Oh, and then they finally go in, and there's a female receptionist, and she's like, can I help you? And it's baby.
Oh my gosh.
Would like some service? And she's like, oh, well, the doctor is with a patient right now, but if you want to talk to him, he'll be right out. And, like, they look over, and, like, he, like, slides in his chair and, like, looks at them and, like, smiles and waves, and they're like, ah, damn it, it's one of those dude whorehouses. Wait a minute. And I think go ahead said something like, wait, we should work here. But, so enough about that, like, plot summary and decent imitations.
Yeah.
A few years ago, there was a show, and this was one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. It was called Popzilla, I think.
Popzilla?
Popzilla.
Okay.
And how they did it, well, I mean, this was back when, like, the Jonas Brothers and, like, Hannah Montana were still a thing, and they made fun of them a lot.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. But, alright. So, Popzilla was, like, this show that was, like, basically, they put, like, real pictures of people's heads on cartoon bodies.
Okay.
And then, like, moved their mouth through animation. It was kind of like South Park style, a little bit, like, when they do, like, Saddam Hussein on South Park. And, but they would just make fun of everyone, like, so much. It was so funny. God. Like, there was this part where, like, they were making fun of the show Hannah Montana, and, they did this scene where, like, I think, did Miley Cyrus play herself on that show?
I think she did.
I never watched it. So, like, I forget, either, like, the girls at school were her friends or they, like, didn't like her because she wasn't, like, popular at school or whatever. But, like, she goes up to them, and it's like, apparently, this was like a big moment in the show. Like, she reveals to these girls at school that she's Hannah Montana. She's like, guys, I have something big to tell you. And she puts on the wig, and she's like, guys, do you know who I am? And they're like, oh shit, you're Hannah Montana. You bitch! She's like, what? And they're like, you know how much money we've been paying to go to your concerts when you could have just gotten us tickets? She's like, oh, I didn't think. They're like, no, you suck!
It's like, I can finally get respect if I reveal myself. And it just takes a turn for the South.
This was like back, well, Miley Cyrus still had her Disney contract.
Yeah.
Like, not like now where that's broken and she's trying to get as far away from that as possible.
Yeah.
Like, I think I a while ago made a joke that, like, as soon as her contract with Disney breaks, she's just gonna, like, go full on, like, crazy mode on the world.
It's most likely gonna happen. I'm just expecting it. The only question is when.
Yeah, and then it happened. I'm like, oh, okay. But, like, if I could go back and tell my, like, every girl show on Disney hating 6-year-old self what was gonna happen to Miley Cyrus in the future, what she was gonna do, I would be, like, hysterical.
Yeah.
And they made fun of the Jonas Brothers pretty bad. Like, they had them, like, know, like, nothing, and I think one of their catchphrases was, like, yikey bikeys, or something like that. They made fun of them so bad. Oh my god, I remember what it was. Oh my god, this is probably why. The show was great, but I think they got canceled, like, before the end of their first season, and what I think it was they got in trouble with some lawyers. I think like the Jonas Brothers is maybe. Because this was so funny, but I think it may have, like, crossed the line a bit.
Okay.
There was one where they were making fun of, like, because they did the whole, like, purity ring thing.
Yeah.
And they were, like, talking about how great not having sex with girls is or something. And they're like, man, I wish there was a loophole. And they're like, wait, we can just fuck each other! So they start, like, humping each other and shit, like the camera cuts out, or something like that happened. This is, like, my attempting to remember it, like, this happened a few years ago, but it was so funny, but I can imagine that got them in pretty bad trouble.
I will post a link for that in the description because that was just too funny to forget.
And then, the last thing I want to talk about is this show that's still on. I don't know how much longer it'll be on, because even though it's, like, really funny, it's, like, pretty messed up.
Yeah.
It's a show called Mr. Pickles, and it's about, like, the whole the whole show is like it's based in like this like old-fashioned town. Like there's still like new technology.
Okay.
But, like, it's like this old-fashioned, like, good old-fashioned, like, American town, and,
Like the old western sort of stuff.
I mean, a little bit,
Okay.
but there's still, like, modern technology and stuff.
Alright.
But it's, like, you know, back to the olden ways.
I get what you
And,
mean.
like, so there's, like, you know, a dad, a wife with, like, a 60s haircut, you know, like, the grandpa living in the family,
Yeah.
and, like, the little boy with a bowl cut and a dog. Like, the boy has leg braces for some reason.
This is like
the catch is-
1950s Forrest Gump, but in a TV show called Mr. Pickles.
That's the thing. The reason it's called Mr. Pickles is because it's kind of about this, the dog's name is Mr. Pickles, and, like, you know, the running joke is, like, we call him that because he gets a pickle every time he's a good boy.
Oh my god.
But the dog is, like, fucking evil and satanic and kills people. Like, one moment, there's, like, happy moments, like, and then my dad showed me what a turtle was, and it'll cut to, like, Mr. Pickles, like, killing someone and, like, ripping their face off and wearing
What
it
the fuck?
or something.
That reminds me of a Reddit post, like, oh man, I forgot exactly how it goes, but it was like the
It's
one
on
Joker.
Adult Swim. It's on Adult
Oh,
Swim, which
gosh.
explains
Yeah, it
everything.
kinda does.
But like on the first episode, and I noticed that this happened once. Like in the first episode, it happened like throughout the first episode. But then they took it out in the second episode and on. Like the mom on the show, you could see her nipples through her shirt.
Wow.
And then they took.
Can you
they took
direct
that
me
out
to
in
that
the second
episode?
Yes. Also, there's a running gimmick in the show that none of them know that their dog is evil and kills people.
Yeah.
But the grandpa, and like he's always like trying to convince them that Mr. Pickles is evil. But, like, none of them believe him. He's like, yeah, last night, Mr. Pickles, like, shoved an alarm clock in my ass and got me drunk and I married this crazy girl.
What?
And like, none of them believe him. Like, oh, Grandpa, you're just having a senior moment or something. And then Mr. Pickles will just look him straight in the eye and start humping the mom's leg. But, for now, it's been, like, 2.5 hours of recording, so hopefully I can cut that down a lot.
You probably can.
Lasks and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna cut this off here. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.